everybody. It's a beautiful morning here in Choshi Marina. It's quite nice temperature. It's about 22-23 degrees, and it's probably reason why I like most the autumn in Japan. The humidity dropped and the temperatures are bearable, so it's actually perfect for sailing. It's perfect for camping or whatever you want to do. And yeah, the winds are getting stronger comparing to the summer period, so that brings additional joy to all the people who like to sail here in Japan. The plan for today is to go to Orai Marina, which is located about 45 nautical miles from Choshi, where I am currently. You basically have to pass around this cape and just go northwest that direction. It's pretty much straightforward journey. It's gonna be typical coastal cruising, around 9 to 10 hours to get there. We plan to spend the night there, and yeah, I think we're gonna come back next day probably. So it should be enjoyable, short one-day trip and 1 day for coming back. So my friend Jeremy is coming soon, so I better start preparing the boat. I'll also fill up the tank just in case. We expect quite moderate winds. They might go maybe up to 7-8 knots, no more than that. But on the return leg tomorrow, the weather is going to be substantially better. We might have winds of even 15-20 knots if the wind predict is giving a correct forecast. Okay, so this is my iPad with avionics. So let's see the automatic route. We are here in Choshi, so let's put that starting point there. And the place where we go is here. Yeah, it should be here. So let's see what is gonna be our programmed route. Automatic one. Yeah, that's about it. It's a 44 nautical miles trip with about 9 hours and 9 liters of fuel. Hopefully that will not be the case in terms of the fuel consumption, but could be because the wind are going to be pretty much weak. On the return trip from Orai to Choshi, we will have quite strong winds. I think it's going to be 15 to 20 knots wind coming from the northeast and east-northeast. So we might be caught up with sailing on a beam reach and a broad reach. But let's see how that's going to play out tomorrow. Let's think about coming there first. And off we go. We had some nice 8 to 10 knots breeze coming from the port deck. Ideal conditions for hoisting the mainsail and giving us a hint of the new exciting day that was ahead of us. Once we passed Cape Inubo, wind slightly intensified, and we also changed to starboard tack.
Meanwhile, Jeremy decided to take some nap. Near Kamisu, sea traffic intensified, so basically from this point onwards we had to exercise an additional caution. Further north, we arrived close to Kashima port, and as you can see by the state of our jib sail, wind almost completely died out. It was starting to get dark, and we added more revs to the engine in order to arrive a bit earlier. Lights in the distance seemed encouraging, but our biggest fear was to enter a totally new port at night, especially one with a slightly more complex system of wave breakers, shallow areas, and particularly location of visitors' berth that we were not really sure we understood correctly where is it. Finally, we arrived a little bit before 9 p.m.
Hey, good morning everybody. It's 7 a.m. and we arrived last night. As you can see, we arrived in the Orai Marina about 8:30, 9ish last night. The wind completely died out during the daytime, but today, I don't know, can you hear this squeaking? Today we're gonna have a quite windy day. It is expected to be around 18, 19, 20 knots of wind today, and it's already about 15, 16, and I can tell you it's gonna be a hell of a good ride way back. There's quite a lot of dry dock boats here. So what happened last night is that we called the Orai Marina, and they kindly provided us with the visitor's bath, and we understood where we have to stop, where we have to tie the knots, but essentially what happened is that they decided to keep their stuff in Marina after working hours, just in order to help us. In the beginning it was a little bit stressful, I'll be honest, because we were entering night. During the night time we were entering the Marina, and everybody knows you're not supposed to enter a completely new marina at night, especially with the complex infrastructure inside, which consists of 2-3 wave breakers. You have to avoid those buoys and the shallow areas, so it was a little bit stressful at night, but we eventually made it. It wasn't any problem. So the guys from Marina were really kind. They were waiting for us on the pier, and they helped us tie the boat. So we are gonna now go to bathroom, wash ourselves, and that's it. We are leaving in probably less than 1 hour. Okay, we finished breakfast and it's time now to go to the local Orai Marina office. They required me to show them all the registration papers and my boating license, insurance, etc., etc. So once we finish that, we are good to go. Yeah, these are the current meteorological conditions, and we have the waves of around 1.2 meters. The average wind speed is about 5 to 6 meters per second, which is approximately what, I don't know, 10-12 knots. The wind and the waves are coming from pretty much northeast. Okay, let's do the registration thing. こんにちは。なんか登録は必要ですね。私は昨日のビジターズバース。はい。ちょっと今
I guess the guys are organizing races.
Yeah, I think we are all set to go.
My GoPro camera dropped a bit, but I still succeeded recording dramatic exit out of the berth as the wind from the beam pushed us sideways. As we were leaving the port and safety of the wave breakers one by one, you could see the water was changing drastically.
There's a guy doing windsurfing there. Yeah. I think the camera didn't catch everything, but the wind was really pushing us toward the outer side of the dock. It was a little bit dramatic, but it was fine. We are exiting soon the wave breaker. Yeah, I think we can set up the sail then.
About 30 minutes afterwards, we were far enough and we turned again toward the port in order to hoist the mainsail. Unfortunately, as expected, sail cars got jammed in the groove cover plate, so some assistance was needed, which is least to say a not really recommended practice on a choppy and gusty weather. Of course, we decided to exercise caution and apply the second reef. 26 feet boat is too small to handle potentially 20 knots gusts and feel everybody pleasant on board. For the next 3-4 hours, we were cruising constantly with a speed of 6 to 7 knots. Ray was cutting waves like a knife through the butter, and it was a joy seeing her developing her full potential. As the waves got bigger, splash became more frequent, and I had to protect the autopilot from excessive water. Ray Marine autopilots are, by the way, somehow notorious for their low tolerance toward humidity and water splashes, and the last thing you want in this weather is that it stops working. Entering the last third of the return leg. We had a little more 12 miles more to go, and the wind was already strong, but actually got a bit even more stronger now. I think it's around like, I don't know, 60, 70 knots. The waves are not like super big, but they can be up to like 2-3 meters. Arrive in Marina around 6:30, 7ish. As the wind and waves intensified, it was very hard to control course of the boat that needed constant readjustments. We were aiming to pass again around the Cape Inubo that was exposed to severe mix of multidirectional waves. For this reason, manual control of the rudder was probably our best option. Finally, after an unexpected long fight, we reached east side of the cape where Marina was located. Home at last. Well, that's it from me for this episode. Stay tuned and don't forget to comment, like and subscribe.